Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 46. And it came to be that after Yaakov died, the children of Yisra'el multiplied in the land of Mitzrayim, and they became a great nation, and they were of one accord in heart, so that brother loved brother, and every man helped his brother, and they increased abundantly and multiplied exceedingly 10 weeks of years, all the days of the life of Yoseph. And there was no adversary nor any evil all the days of the life of Yoseph, which he lived after his father Yaakov. For all the Mitzrites honored the children of Yisra'el all the days of the life of Yoseph. And Yoseph died, being 110 years old. He lived 17 years in the land of Canaan, and 10 years he was a servant, and 3 years in prison, and 80 years he was under the sovereign, ruling all the land of Mitzrayim. And he died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. And he commanded the children of Yisrael before he died, that they should carry his bones with them when they went out from the land of Mitzrayim. And he made them swear regarding his bones, for he knew that the Mitzrites would not again take and bury him in the land of Canaan. For Machamoran, sovereign of Canaan, while dwelling in the land of Ashur, fought in the valley with the sovereign of Mitzrayim, and slew him there, and pursued after the Mitzrites to the gates of Ermon. But he was not able to enter, for another, a new sovereign, had become sovereign of Mitzrayim, and he was stronger than he, and he returned to the land of Canaan, and the gates of Mitzrayim were closed, and none went out, and none came into Mitzrayim. And Yoseph died in the 46th Yovel, in the 6th week, in the 2nd year, and they buried him in the land of Mitzrayim, and his brothers died after him. And the sovereign of Mitzrayim went out to battle with the sovereign of Canaan in the 47th Yovel, in the 2nd week, in the 2nd year. And the children of Yisrael brought out all the bones of the children of Yaakov, except the bones of Yoseph, and they buried them in the field in the cave of Machpelah in the mountain. And the majority returned to Mitzrayim, but a few of them remained in the mountains of Hebron, and Amram, your father, remained with them. And the sovereign of Canaan was victorious over the sovereign of Mitzrayim, and he closed the gates of Mitzrayim. And he devised an evil plan against the children of Yisrael of afflicting them, and he said to the people of Mitzrayim, See, the people of the children of Yisrael have increased and multiplied more than we. Come and let us deal wisely with them before they become too many, and let us afflict them with slavery before battle comes upon us, and before they also fight against us. Maybe they shall join themselves with our enemies and go up out of our land, for their hearts and faces are towards the land of Canaan. And he appointed over them slave masters to afflict them with slavery, and they built strong cities for Pharaoh, Pithom and Ramses, and they built all the walls and all the fortifications which had fallen in the cities of Mitzrayim, and they made them serve with harshness, and the more they dealt evilly with them, the more they increased and multiplied, and the people of Mitzrayim loathed the children of Yisrael. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 47. And in the 7th week, in the 7th year, in the 47th Yovel, your father went out from the land of Canaan, and you were born in the 4th week, in the 6th year, in the 48th Yovel. This was the time of tribulation on the children of Yisrael. And Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, issued a command regarding them that they should throw all their male children which were born into the river. And for 7 months they threw them in until the day that you were born, and your mother hid you for 3 months, and they informed regarding her. But she made an ark for you, and covered it with pitch and asphalt, and placed it in the reeds on the bank of the river, and she placed you in it 7 days. And your mother came by night and nursed you, and by day Miriam, your sister, guarded you from the birds. And in those days Tharmuth, the daughter of Pharaoh, came to bathe in the river, and she heard your voice crying, and she told her female servants to bring you out, and they brought you to her. And she took you out of the ark, and she had compassion on you. And your sister said to her, Shall I go and call to one of the Ivri women to nurse and suckle this infant for you? And she said, Go. And she went and called your mother Yocheved, and she gave her wages, and she nursed you. And afterwards, when you were grown up, they brought you to the daughter of Pharaoh, and you became her son. And Amram, your father, taught you writing, and after you had completed 3 weeks, they brought you into the royal court, and you were 3 weeks of years at court until the time when you went out from the royal court and saw a Mitzrite smiting your friend who was of the children of Yisrael, and you slew him and hid him in the sand. And on the second day you found 2 of the children of Yisrael striving together, and you said to him who was doing the wrong, "Why do you smite your brother?" And he was wroth and displeased, and said, "Who made you a prince and a judge over us? Do you think to kill me as you killed the Mitzrite yesterday?" And you feared and fled on account of these words. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 48. And in the 6th year of the 3rd week of the 49th Yovel, you departed and dwelt on the land of Midian 5 weeks and 1 year. And you returned to Mitzrayim in the 2nd week in the 2nd year in the 50th Yovel. And you yourself know what he spoke to you on Mount Sinai, and what Prince Mastema desired to do with you when you were returning into Mitzrayim on the way when you met him at the lodging place. Did he not with all his power seek to slay you and deliver the Mitzrites out of your hand when he saw that you were sent to execute right ruling and vengeance on the Mitzrites? And I delivered you out of his hand, and you performed these signs and wonders which you were sent to perform in Mitzrayim against Pharaoh and against all his house and against his servants and his people. And Yahweh executed a vengeance on them for Yisrael's sake, and smote them through blood and frogs, gnats and dogflies, and evil boils breaking out in sores, and their cattle by death and by hailstones. By these he destroyed all that grew for them, and by locusts which devoured the remnant which had been left by the hail, and by darkness, and of the firstborn of men and beasts. And on all their idols Yahweh took vengeance, and burned them with fire. And all was sent through your hand, that you should declare these words before they were done. And you spoke with the sovereign of Mitzrayim before all his servants and before his people. And all took place according to your words. 10 great and terrible judgments came on the land of Mitzrayim, that you might execute vengeance on it for Yisra'el. And Yahweh did all for Yisrael's sake, and according to his covenant, which he had ordained with Abraham, that he would take vengeance on them as they had brought them by force into bondage. And the prince of Mastema stood up against you, and sought to cast you into the hands of Pharaoh, and he helped the Mitzrite magicians, and they stood up and wrought before you. The evils indeed we permitted them to work, but the remedies we did not allow to be wrought by their hands. And Yahweh smote them with evil sores, and they were not able to stand, for we destroyed them so that they could not perform a single sign. But despite all signs and wonders, the prince of Mastema was not put to shame, because he strengthened himself and cried to the Mitzrites to pursue after you with all the powers of the Mitzrites, with their chariots and with their horses, and with all the hosts of the peoples of Mitzrayim. And I stood between the Mitzrites and Yisra'el, and we delivered Yisra'el out of his hand, and out of the hand of his people, and Yahweh brought them through the midst of the sea as if it were dry land. And all the peoples whom he brought to pursue after Yisra'el, Yahweh our Elohim threw them into the midst of the sea, into the depths of the abyss beneath the children of Yisra'el, even as the people of Mitzrayim had thrown their children into the river. He took vengeance on 1,000,000 of them, and 1,000 strong and energetic men were destroyed on account of one nursing child of the children of your people, which they had thrown into the river. And on the 14th day, and on the 15th, and on the 16th, and on the 17th, and on the 18th, the prince of Mastema was bound and imprisoned behind the children of Yisrael, that he might not accuse them. And on the 19th we let them loose, that they might help the Mitzrites and pursue the children of Yisrael. And he hardened their hearts, and made them stubborn. And the plan was devised by Yahweh our Elohim, that he might smite the Mitzrites and cast them into the sea. And on the 14th we bound him, that he might not accuse the children of Yisrael, on the day when they asked the Mitzrites for goods and garments, objects of silver and objects of gold and objects of bronze, in order to plunder the Mitzrites in return for the bondage in which they had forced them to serve. And we did not lead out the children of Yisrael from Mitzrayim empty-handed. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 49. Remember the command which Yahweh commanded you concerning the Pesach, that you should celebrate it in its season on the 14th of the first month, that you should kill it before it is evening, and that they should eat it by night in the evening from the time of the setting of the sun. For on this night, the beginning of the festival and the beginning of the joy, you were eating the Pesach in Mitzrayim, when all the powers of Mastema had been let loose to slay all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the captive female servant in the mill and to the cattle. And this is the sign which Yahweh gave them: into every house on the lintels of which they saw the blood of a lamb of the first year, they should not enter into that house to slay, but should pass by, that all those should be saved that were in the house, because the sign of the blood was on its lintels. And the power of Yahweh did all accordingly as Yahweh commanded them, and they passed over all the children of Yisra'el, and the plague did not come upon them to destroy from among them any being, any cattle, or man, or dog. And the plague was very grievous in Mitzrayim, and there was no house in Mitzrayim where there was not one dead, and weeping and lamentation. And all Yisrael were eating the flesh of the Pesach lamb and drinking the wine, and were praising and berakah and giving thanks to Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, and were ready to go out from under the yoke of Mitzrayim and from the evil bondage. And remember this day all the days of your life, and observe it from year to year all the days of your life, once a year on its day, according to all the law thereof, and do not turn away from day to day or from month to month, for it is an everlasting law, and engraved on the tablets of the Shamayim regarding all the children of Yisrael, that they should observe it every year on its day once a year throughout all their generations. And there is no limit of days, for this is ordained forever. And the man who is free from uncleanness and does not come to observe it on occasion of its day, so as to bring an acceptable offering before Yahweh, and to eat and to drink before Yahweh on the day of its festival, that man who is clean and close at hand shall be cut off, because he did not offer the offering of Yahweh in its appointed time. His guilt is upon him. Let the children of Yisrael come and observe the Pesach on the day of its appointed time, on the 14th day of the first month, between the evenings, from the third part of the day to the third part of the night. For 2 portions of the day are given to the light, and a third part to the evening. This is that which Yahweh commanded you, that you should observe it between the evenings. And it is not permissible to slay it during any period of the light, but during the period bordering on the evening. And let them eat it at the time of the evening until the third part of the night. And whatever is left over of all its flesh from the third part of the night and onwards, let them burn it with fire. And they shall not boil it with water, nor shall they eat it raw, but roasted on the fire. They shall eat it with diligence, its head with its inward parts, and its legs they shall roast with fire, and not break any of its bones. For of the children of Yisrael no bone shall be crushed. For this reason Yahweh commanded the children of Yisrael to observe the Pesach on the day of its fixed time, and they shall not break its bone. For it is a festival day, and a day commanded, and there may be no passing over from day to day and month to month, but on the day of its festival let it be observed. And you shall command the children of Yisrael to observe the Pesach throughout their days, every year, once a year, on the day of its fixed time, and it shall become a memorial well-pleasing before Yahweh, and no plague shall come upon them to slay them or to smite in that year in which they celebrate the Pesach in its season in every respect according to his command. And they shall not eat it outside the Mikdash of Yahweh, but before the Mikdash of Yahweh. And all the people of the congregation of Yisra'el shall celebrate it in its appointed season. And every man who has come upon its day shall eat it in the Mikdash of your Elohim before Yahweh, from 20 years old and upward, for so it is written and ordained that they should eat it in the Mikdash of Yahweh. And when the children of Yisra'el come into the land which they are to possess, into the land of Canaan, and put up the Mishkan of Yahweh in the midst of the land, in one of their tribes, until the Mikdash of Yahweh has been built in the land, let them come and celebrate the Pesach in the midst of the Mishkan of Yahweh, and let them slaughter it before Yahweh from year to year. And in the days when the house has been built in the name of Yahweh, in the land of their inheritance, they shall go there and slaughter the Pesach in the evening at sunset at the third part of the day. And they shall offer its blood on the threshold of the altar, and shall place its fat on the fire which is upon the altar, and they shall eat its flesh roasted with fire in the court of the house which has been qadosh in the name of Yahweh. And they may not celebrate the Pesach in their cities, nor in any place except before the Mishkan of Yahweh, or before his house where his name has dwelt, and they shall not go astray from Yahweh. And you, Mosheh, shall command the children of Yisra'el to observe the laws of the Pesach, as it was commanded to you. You declare to them every year the festival of Matzot, that they should eat unleavened bread 7 days, and that they should observe its festival, and that they bring an offering every day during those 7 days of joy before Yahweh on the altar of your Elohim. For you celebrated this festival with haste when you went out of Mitzrayim, till you entered into the wilderness of Shur. For on the shore of the sea you completed it. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 50. And after this law I made known to you the days of the Shabbath in the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. And I told you of the Shabbath of the land on Mount Sinai, and I told you of the Yovel years in the Shabbath of years, but the year thereof I have not told you till you enter the land which you are to possess. And the land also shall keep its Shabbath while they dwell upon it, and they shall know the Yovel year. Therefore I have ordained for you the yearly Shabbath, and the years, and the Yovelim. And there are 49 Yovelim from the days of Adam until this day, and 1 week and 2 years. And there are still 40 years to come for learning the commands of Yahweh, until they pass over into the land of Canaan, crossing the Yarden to the west. And the Yovelim shall pass by, until Yisra'el is cleansed from all guilt of whoring, and uncleanness, and defilement, and sin, and straying, and dwell with confidence in all the land. And there shall no longer be an adversary or any evil one, and the land shall be clean from that time forever. And see, the command regarding the Shabbath I have written down for you, and all the right rulings of its laws. 6 days you shall labor, but on the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahuwah your Elohim. In it you shall do no manner of work, you and your sons, and your male servants, and your female servants, and all your cattle, and the sojourner also, who is with you. And the man that does any work on it shall die. Whoever profanes that day, whoever lies with his wife, or whoever says he shall do whatever on it, that he shall depart on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling, and whoever draws water thereon which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day, and whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house shall die. You shall do no work whatever on the Shabbat day, except what you have prepared for yourselves on the 6th day, so as to eat and drink and rest, and guard the Shabbat from all work on that day, and to berakah Yahuwah your Elohim, who has given you a day of festival, and a Kodesh day, and a day of the Kodesh rain for all Yisra'el is this day among their days forever. For great is the honor which Yahweh has given to Yisra'el, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival day, and rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of men, except burning frankincense and bringing offerings and slaughterings before Yahweh for days and for Shabbath. This work alone shall be done on the Shabbat days in the Mikdash of Yahweh your Elohim, that they may atone for Yisrael with offering continually from day to day, for a memorial well-pleasing before Yahweh, that he may receive them always from day to day, accordingly as you have been commanded. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes a journey, or tills his field, whether in his house or any other place, and whoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by ship on the sea, and whoever smites or kills whatever, or slaughters a beast or a bird, or whoever catches an animal or a bird or a fish, or whoever fasts or goes to battle on the Shabbath, the man who does any of these matters on the Shabbat shall die. So that the children of Yisra'el shall observe the Shabbath according to the commands regarding the Shabbath of the land, as it is written in the tablets, which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for you the laws of the seasons, and the seasons according to the division of their days. Thus is completed the account of the division of the days.